by May 3rd in history. In 1469, Florence was the beating heart of the Italian Renaissance, a city ruled by the powerful Medici family and alive with art and ambition. On May 3rd, Niccolò Machiavelli was born into a modest Florentine family, destined to become history's most famous political thinker. His masterwork, The Prince, forever changed how we understand power, making Machiavelli's name synonymous with political cunning and realism. In 1715, astronomer Edmund Halley prepared England for an extraordinary celestial event, publishing a map predicting the exact path of a coming total solar eclipse. On May 3rd, darkness swept across England as the moon blocked the sun. Crowds gathered in streets and fields, witnessing the brilliant solar corona for nearly 4 minutes. Halley's prediction map proved remarkably accurate, establishing eclipse forecasting as a triumph of Newtonian science and inspiring public trust in astronomical prediction for centuries. In 1791, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth stood at a crossroads, a once mighty nation weakened by decades of political paralysis and foreign meddling. On May 3rd, reformers in the Sejm seized their moment, passing Europe's first modern constitution, establishing popular sovereignty, separation of powers, and rights for townspeople. Though Russia and Prussia crushed the constitution within 2 years, it became an enduring symbol of democratic aspiration, still celebrated as Poland's most important national holiday. In 1845, Pittsburgh was a booming industrial hub where wooden buildings packed tightly along the rivers, creating a tinderbox waiting to ignite. On May 3rd, a small kitchen fire spread rapidly through the wooden district, consuming over 1,000 buildings across 56 acres in hours. Pittsburgh rebuilt with brick and stone, transforming from a wooden frontier town into the fireproof steel city that would power America's Industrial Revolution. In 1901, Jacksonville, Florida was a booming southern port city. On May 3rd, a small mattress factory fire ignited dry Spanish moss nearby. Strong winds spread the blaze across nearly 150 blocks. By nightfall, almost 10,000 residents had lost their homes. Jacksonville rebuilt with brick and stone, adopting strict fire codes. The disaster transformed it into a modern, resilient 20th century city. In 1945, British and Indian forces launched Operation Dracula to recapture Rangoon, Burma's capital, from 3 years of Japanese occupation. On May 3rd, combined airborne and amphibious forces stormed into the city, finding Japanese troops had already begun retreating northward. The liberation of Rangoon ended the brutal Burma campaign and marked one of the final Allied victories in the Pacific theater. In 1945, as World War II neared its end, the Nazis forced thousands of concentration camp prisoners onto ships anchored in Germany's Lübeck Bay. On May 3rd, British RAF planes attacked the Cap Arcona, unaware it held thousands of prisoners. The ship capsized in flames as nearly 8,000 perished. The Cap Arcona disaster remains one of history's deadliest maritime tragedies, a devastating reminder of war's chaos and the cost of failed communication. In 1947, a defeated Japan stood at a crossroads. Under Allied occupation, the nation prepared to leave its imperial past behind and embrace an entirely new form of government. On May 3rd, Japan's new constitution took effect, transforming the nation into a constitutional democracy. Article 9 boldly renounced war, forever changing the country's military identity. The constitution turned Japan into one of the world's most stable democracies. Article 9 remains fiercely debated, but its pacifist vision has defined Japanese identity for generations. In 1968, tension gripped the University of Paris at Nanterre, where radical students clashed with authorities over Vietnam and outdated university reforms. When police stormed the Sorbonne on May 3rd, students fought back with cobblestones and barricades, turning the Latin Quarter into a battleground. The uprising ignited a general strike of 11 million workers, nearly toppling de Gaulle's government and reshaping French politics for generations. In 1979, Britain faced economic turmoil. Strikes paralyzed the nation during the Winter of Discontent, and voters demanded change. On May 3rd, Margaret Thatcher led the Conservatives to a decisive victory, becoming Britain's first female prime minister. Thatcher's 11-year premiership reshaped Britain through privatization and free market reforms, leaving a legacy still debated today. In 1999, The plains of Oklahoma braced as a massive supercell system bore down, spawning dozens of tornadoes across the heartland. A colossal F5 tornado, with record-breaking 302-mile-per-hour winds, carved a devastating path through Bridge Creek and Moore, Oklahoma. The outbreak killed 46 people and caused over $1 billion in damage, forever changing tornado research and warning systems nationwide.